Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin Hasbanallahu wa ni'mal wakil. The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. It's Wednesday, and it's always a great day for me because I was born on Wednesday. I also say President was born on a Wednesday. But yesterday, something significant happened in Parliament. It has never happened before. Novel, you should like to call it. In the hang Parliament, where the minority and the majority are both asking for the head of the Finance Minister, Mr. Ofori Atta. And they are also asking for, if you will, Charles Dubois. And then now the minority is adding His Excellency, the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, as the head of the Economic Management Team to go. So technically, Parliament is asking for 3 heads to go. These heads have been interested or involved in economic management. I want you to, I don't know if I should congratulate the parliamentarians or not, because I've been saying this over and over and over again. Those who decided that, oh, you are anti-party, you are anti-government, you are a hater of the regime, whatever it is, I hope that your members of parliament who also came together to hold press conferences, some of them who have served as deputy ministers and whatever in this government, they are also anti-party and anti-government. I told you the truth is one, and no amount of intimidation will win. Yesterday, they came together making a demand on the president. And my understanding is that there was a meeting that was held with them later. And they stuck to their grounds. Mind you, there was a meeting earlier, AGI and everybody else meeting the president, trying to find solution to the epileptic rise of the dollar, which is suffocating and choking businesses and killing them in this country. Question, was the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, as head of the Economic Management Team in that meeting? Was he? Oh, if he was not in that meeting, then why was he not in that meeting? Because that was a very crucial meeting. And was he not in that meeting because he was ill? Or was he not in that meeting because the de facto Prime Minister and the President Secretary were in that meeting and he won't sit at the table with them? I'm only asking my questions. But was the Vice President in that critical meeting? If he was not, was he sick? Was he not? And if he was not sick, did he reject the invitation of the President to be in that meeting after the President told he has sent emissaries to go and find out? I'm only asking questions. But let me take you back to 2017. 11 January, Akufo, the President of the Republic, overwhelming victory of the 2016 election, had won the election so beautifully, and had decided that, look, let's see how we're going to fix the country, which we complained about. So he had a proposal for who was going to be his finance minister. Take a look.
He's arguably one of the most successful bankers in our country, an American educated, Columbia, Yale, the rest, worked in Wall Street as a young man for Morgan Stanley and for Salomon Brothers. And when he returned here to Ghana in the late 80s, early 90s, combined with his partners to found what has become the most successful investment bank in our country, that is Data Bank. It's grown to have affiliates across the continent. So we have somebody who's been deeply involved in the economies, not just of Ghana, but of several countries on the continent, and has been successful in promoting investment and development in those economies. His reputation in international capital, money markets very high. We want to get the Ghanaian economy fully back on track and developing so that we can create jobs and lift and raise the living standards of our people. We need an economist. We need somebody at finance who has the range, who has the capacity, and has the insight into how to move modern economies. I believe that most people who are dealing in the money market, the capital markets of our country, would acknowledge him as one of the outstanding figures in it. He, for the last 3 years, has done something I suspect many members of his family thought was a madness. He stepped down from his leadership of the data bank to follow me and give me his full support, and became chairman of the group that was raising money on my account, and has been an invaluable assistance to me these last few years.
That was President Akufo extolling Harvard, Yale, Oga White, Bible quoting, Caleb, Lamentations, all those things. You remember in the early days, even Mr. Ofori, when he was speaking to us, as if they had forced him to come and do the work. Today is, what they call it, 20, whatever of October, right? What is the scorecard? 26th of October, what is the scorecard? Of all the things that were said, the revival that was said in there, for those who are going around praying, it's not a church revival. Oh. What is the scorecard today as we speak? Was it this that triggered those in Parliament? And here I ask Parliament a question. Yes, I congratulate you for doing what you have done, coming together. The long-awaited consensus is here. Hooray! In the hand Parliament. Bravo! Was it not the same minority and majority who sat together at the table and confirmed Mr. Ofori as finance minister when he was not well and was not in this country? Was it not the same majority and minority who sat at the table and watched Osei Mensa Buntu, majority leader, read the budget to them as if it was some literature book? Was it not the same parliament who endorsed Mr. Ofori and other ministers? You brought the problem onto us. When Mr. Akufo brought it to you, you should have told him, as for this one, because of how he has performed the last 4 years, we don't think he is qualified to do it. More so, he's not well. You confirmed him. Today, you are joining to complain. And the reason is that some of you have not gotten, projects in your constituencies. And co-ministers, according to the information, will sometimes go and sit at the office of the Minister for Finance, waiting for him. He would never come to them. The whole time during the budget for 2022, in 2021, was Mr. Ofori there? So you saw the red flags, but you still went ahead to approve of him. You want us to clap for you? Well, you are now waking up to the coffee. You are not doing your job as checks and balances. That's your job. But partisanship has taken center stage. So it's become scratch my back, I scratch your back. You are now realizing that Charles Edubuahin, Dr. Baumia, and Ken Ofori are not best fit for the job. Were you not the ones who approved of them? I'm asking you. Apart from the Vice President, Parliament, were you not the ones who approved them to come and do this work? Danny, play the video for me. We are a proud nation. We will not go to IMF. Of course, I'm basing this on what the president had told them about the man. Play the video, Danny.
I can tell you, as my colleague, Deputy Minister said, we are not going to the IMF. Whatever we do, we are not. The consequences are there. We are a proud nation. We have the resources. We have the capacity. Don't let anybody tell you. Like when Joshua, Caleb, and the 10 others went to spy on the promised land. And only 2 of them came to say that we can do it. And the 10 went around the community murmuring, you can't, We are not people of short sight, you know. And we have to move on, okay? So let's think of us as who we are, a proud, strong people, the shining star of Africa, and we have the capacity to do what we want to do. If only we can speak that one language and ensure that we burden share in the issues ahead. Thank you.
We will not go to IMF. We are a proud nation. 1, he has not apologized. 2, he's even not embarrassed to be leading the team at IMF, to be begging the same people he said he will not go to. 3, we are not credit-worthy anywhere in the world. We will not go to IMF. Caleb Joshua, everyday Bible, radio Bible, pray everyday Bible, here we are. We will not go to IMF. We are a proud nation. No government official has officially apologized to the people of Ghana. After you told us that when we give you E-levy, you don't go to IMF, you are there. But that's not the point. What are the implications on the call of Mr. Ofori Atta to resign or to be sacked? Charles Addo here as well. They are not the only members of the economic management team. It's a whole economic management team. Danny, play that video. Reminder for me. Professor Jan Bafo, Alan Kojo Tremanting, Ya Osafo Mafo, what do you call it? All of those people, they must all go away. Because you see, when you have a team and they are working and the work is not working or agenda is not agending, you have to push them aside. Danny, play the video.
When I look at the economic management team, it is quite clearly a fantastic team. Professor Jambafo, Dr. Akutose, Dr. Afriye Akoto, Honorable Alan Chiremanting, Boachi Ejaku, Ken Ofori Atta, Senior Minister Yao Osafo Mafu. What a solid team. In fact, can anyone remember the NDC economic management team? I'm sure they themselves cannot remember who their economic management team was. Kukrudu, fellow Kukrudites, we were elected to fix the problems, and I'm glad to report.
You are not fixing anything, boss. Stop giving yourself fans. All the names that were mentioned, they should be nowhere close the corridors of power or nowhere close the economic management team. So you can single out Ken Ofori Atta, Charles Addo for whatever. Dr. Baumia, all the other people who were part of the list that were mentioned, and people were laughing. All those people should be gone. But you see, the president is failing to recognize the fact that his own members of parliament, 50% of which are his ministers by constitutional provision, are openly calling and standing off and saying they will not participate in the hearing of the budget, which we need so badly, which is why parliament is sitting, and also the approval of SAID. So whatever you go to IMF to decide, when you bring, they say we won't pass it. We won't sit to read it. Your own members of parliament. That's an indictment and a vote of no confidence in you, Mr. President. They are telling you that the job, you know, they see top. They're telling you that you have indecisiveness. They're telling you that you don't listen. And you see the MP for Subing after the meeting when you met them, he said, everybody else cannot be wrong and only you be right. And that's your posture, Mr. President. That's the unfortunate posture that you have all plunged us into. When we told you about your number of ministers, what did you say? When we told you about overspending, what did you say? We have complained about you flying in private jets. You have not listened. We have complained about you keeping a chair in a V8. You have not listened. We have complained about so many things. You don't listen to us. Meanwhile, you came to beg us. You came to beg us that you will do it for us, so we should try you. Now the try me has become try your luck. Remember when we were kids, the balloon game, try your luck. But President Akufo cannot sack Ofori. That's what I'm asking. It's a family affair. Will Akufo sack Ofori, 2 family names? Danny, show them why. The defense. The defense of President Akufo of Ofori on the store. Play the video.
Finance Minister, what does Johnnie?
We were under an IMF program right until 2019. But this man was able to organize the management of our economy in such a way that not only were we able to roll out all these programs in that first year and subsequent years, but our economy's growth was spectacular. And then they Akufo for convenience sake. One in Kai. Says I can't say Ghana for any Kai. Now, so somebody who has been able to do that. Why would I say that? How do I do that? How do I do that? What would be the basis? What is the rationale? Sanka be able to say first time no crown no so it's a different matter now. And so any can say Sanka me repeating for my second term. I repeated him for my second term. Like some of the senior ministers of my government, the agriculture minister is behind me, the rules minister is here, the trade minister is there. These are some of the major pillars of my government. For me, their performance in my first term was excellent. Let me use that word, excellent.
Excellent indeed. Excellent indeed. We will not be buying $1 for what we're buying it. We will not be buying a gallon of oil for what we're buying it for. Rice, maize, gari, banku kenke. Excellent indeed. I say all the members of the economic management team must go. We have the men, we have the men, we have the men. Son of the Bay Area boys. Show working. Show your scorecard. Show working. That's where we are now. You called somebody Professor Doolittle, Mr. President. This was in your desperate quest for power in 2010. 2010, they said the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, has mockingly crowned the on-leave President John Evans Atta Mills as Professor Doolittle, saying he has failed Ghana. Speaking to a horde of journalists who stormed his Nima residence where he was holding his maiden post-Congress meeting yesterday, Nanado said the president should be referred to as Professor Doolittle with the Better Ghana agenda he promised Ghana. Now, let's come back. You promised us not Better Ghana agenda. You said Ghana beyond aid. I have titled the Ghana beyond borrowing. What has been your scorecard compared to somebody that you called Professor Doolittle? How should we call you? Dr. Do Nothing? Or Dr. Trying to Do? Dr. Trying to Do. Akufo. Then he played Samira Baumia's video for me. You remember when they mentioned the economic management team? She was busy laughing. She's a wife of the vice president, Her Excellency. She was busy laughing. She gave us a beautiful campaign message. Listen to her.
NDC 40 Sika Koya bus branded. Millions so Ghana for soon. Yes, more boy chrono, more boy bro. Munjaisa muncho contract and sign. And almost say Musu cry a ben more. Namon anything. Says we try when you show baby NDC flag, President Mama poster, NDC or more branding Ghana and you know, the Sika you know branding. The youth of this country, we are saying to the NDC that we see you all right. You want us to see you? We see you, but we see incompetence. We see you, but we see corruption. We see you, but we see mismanagement. We see you, but we see bad governance. We see you, but we want change. We see you, but we want Ghana to move forward. That is why I have decided, and all the youth of this country, and all the well-meaning people of this country are saying,
Wow. I'm shocked. We see you. But what do we see? Answer your own question. We see you. But what do we see? The things that you told us, the steroids that you fed us, which give us a lot of energy, today is coming at you. And vindication lies in the womb of time. Time has elapsed. Now, this is it. This is your scorecard. Can this government boldly talk about fighting corruption? Can this government boldly talk about creating jobs? Yesterday I saw, they said they have created river guards. Mohammed's government had coastal guards, same yellow and black. You have come to create river guards. You have not finished solving NAPCO's problem. You owe youth in afforestation. You owe everybody. You are doing river guards. And they too, they are not thinking smart. So they will go and wear the uniform. Then they will come back 6 months later and say, Mr. Johnnie, apeko. Inchuboeko. Did I send you anywhere? But you see, this is the grand scheme. All of this conversation about, sack Ofori Atta, sack Charles Addo, sack Dr. Baumia, yeah, they leave them. Is it the grand scheme to make us forget about Galamsey? That it is still ongoing and that we are only talking at the problem and praying at it? Is it the grand scheme to make us forget about our economic woes? Is it the grand scheme to make us forget about the impending fuel price increases? Is it a grand scheme to make us forget about our children's school fees? Is it a grand scheme to make us forget the painfulness that we are still earning the dwarf salary and our expenses are so tall like Goliath? Is it a grand scheme that to make us forget that incompetent people have been put in certain positions and they must be made to go? Is it a grand scheme that the retirees are still at post and the young people are at home without jobs? Is it a grand scheme? I'm asking. Because suddenly government is throwing this at us. Oh, let's all go. It's good for us to solve the economic problems of the country. And let nobody talk to us about burden sharing. Because when you were chopping, we were not chopping with you. When you were bathing in the sky, we were not bathing with you. When Sewa Brony was in the private jet, we were not there. When you were carrying your chair in the V8, we were not there. When you were living your extravagant lives, we were not part of it. So don't talk to us about burden sharing. If you think you're tired, move. But you see, Ofori Atta knows that his cousin will not sack him because it's a family affair. There's an Ofori Atta and there's an Akufo family. And you know what Ofori Atta will be thinking now? That he played that Lil Wayne video.
Sack you. Sack me. Sack me. It's too much. Every day they sack. Still, I'm standing here. Sack me. If you sack me, I'll go my hometown and make the sack me. Sack me. It's too much. Every day they sack. Still, I'm standing here. Sack me. If you sack me, I'll go my hometown and make the sack me. Sack me. It's too much. Every day they sack. Still, I'm standing here. Sack me. Sack me. Sack me. It's too much. Every day they sack. Still, I'm standing here. Sack me. Sack me. Sack me. It's too much. Every day they sack. Still, I'm standing here. Sack me. If you sack me, I'll go my hometown.
You cannot sack him. Look, let's wrap up. I did a poll on Twitter yesterday. Read it. Do you think that the 80 MPs, MPP MPs demanding for the sack of Ofori Atta and Charles Addo from the finance ministry have betrayed the president? 3,039 votes in 12 hours. 13% of them said yes. 87% of them said no. So they support them overwhelming. Yesterday I showed you the Kwesi Kwarteng Ofori Atta poll. Today this is what I'm showing you. And I'll continue to do the polls. Because the voice of the people is the voice of God. And the president told us that the battle is the Lord's. The people are speaking to you. You are not listening. These days, you don't tell us, bako. When we complain, it's either we are villagers, witches and wizards, we are coconut heads, or bako. Good morning.